Throughout my journey, the one thing that I've always used is crystals. Since my mum gave me a dragon's egg, I have always used crystals to protect, to get me connected, so I can channel, so I can heal my body. Oh, it's amazing what you can program a crystal to do. And it always has been able to guide me in many difficult circumstances where I've just held the crystal and just felt the energy of the source, or the energy of being part of nature, because a lot of these crystals have been in the ground for like millions of years. And so you're always drawn to them. I'm always drawn to give them out to people to help them on their journey. I mean, one of the most amazing times was one of the ladies who, when I worked for the football club, she used to work for the Princess Trust, actually, and she was going to Peru, and she said to me, "Is there anything I can take to help me out?" And I says, "Oh, I've got a crystal here. I didn't even know I had it in my pocket." I says, "I'll program it to keep you safe and always find your way home." She says, "You know what? That would really help me because I'm always a bit worried about getting lost and this, that, and the other." Well, anyway, about 2 months ago, she came and she wanted to give me the crystal back. And I was like, "So how did it go?" She says, "Do you know what? If it wasn't for the crystal, this saved my life." And I says, "Go on, tell me the story. Tell me the story." She says, "Well, we went with our guide into the forest and one thing and another, and we all got split up. So me and my friend and the guide got split up. I don't know how it happened. And I remembered what you said. You said, hold the crystal and just ask for the way back. And I was guided back to the path, and which in the end I found my friends." She says, "But I was lost. I panicked." And she said, "That crystal made me feel warm inside. It felt alive inside. And I just knew I'd be all right. So thank you for the crystal." And I says, "Well, keep it, because you never know the journeys you might need to hold on to that crystal." So it just shows you that just programming a crystal can do so much. I used to use them also when healing animals as well, even though they want to play with the crystal. But I can remember another time when my son was basically, because he was very gifted when he was younger. He was really in tune right up to the age of 7. Most children are. But I remember this time, my friend was working at a shop, and she was doing some Reiki on this body, and she normally took about an hour to work on the body and get it all right and everything like that. And this one day, I remember Lucas was playing some game, because he loves playing games on the computer that we used to have. So that used to keep him occupied for quite a while I was doing my work, or while I was helping out, or one thing or another. I think he was playing Harry Potter at the time, which was one of our favourite games that we used to play together. So anyway, she said, "She kept bothering Lucas," and I thought, "What is she bothering him about?" She said, "Lucas, come and heal this person for me, because I'm struggling." And Lucas said, "Oh, do I really need to?" And I was like, go on and help her out. Show her your stuff." So anyway, he went over, and then she's got like a whole load of crystals, and he'd obviously seen her do her work, where she was holding onto the crystals and doing a little bit and one thing and another. So he went along and he picked up a quartz crystal and did all around the head and cleansed and this, that, and the other, then put it down. And then she picked up the pink crystal, the love crystal, and he went and did the body. And within 10 minutes, she scanned the body and everything. She went, "Oh my God, he's just healed that lady. That's incredible." And I've never told him what to do. I've never shown him what to do. Do you know what I mean? But he naturally was drawn to those crystals to heal the body. So that was quite an amazing, really experience. And it's quite funny because there's been odd times when I've tried to like show him stuff about meditation and this, that, and the other. Just because when he shows interest, I will pass it on to him. And in one time, I was just breathing quickly. He went, "That's not how you do it, Dad. You got to really breathe in, and you got to really breathe out." And I was laughing to myself because I just thought he's so connected and so at one with guidance from the universe and from the source, that it's so easy that he can really pick up this information. And this is what I've loved about crystals. So my healing ball, which is in the picture, is the amethyst, because I always associate healing with amethyst. When I used to tour the country, I used to program the crystal to heal people, and then I used to give it to the people in the audience who I felt needed healing. and I just got them to imagine the purple flowing through the body and going to the areas that needed healing. And they all used to feel warm, and they used to feel the areas of the body where the healing took place. So I knew crystals were a magical things and could do so much. And that's why when my mum gave me the dragon's egg from day one, I used to carry it all the time. And then any time that I wanted to channel or I wanted insights, I used to hold the crystal, and things would just to flood through information, and I used to thank the crystal and go on my merry way. I mean, even when I was touring the country, I used to use crystals to open people up. You'd get a difficult customer, arms crossed. They've been told by other people that they can't give you any information and they can't even answer you back, and they get all closed off. Well, all I used to do is a round spherical quartz I used to put in the hand, but I used to program them to open them up and also to get a message. Because once somebody gets a picture in their mind or whatever, what they do is they automatically open up. I mean, some of the other ladies used to talk about, they used to say, oh, you got a lovely necklace on, and that used to help them open up. But I always found that if I got a different customer, I'd get the quartz out and I'd put it in the hand and just say, oh, just hold that for a moment while I'm tuning in on one thing another. And you could see them just melt and just open up, and the energies changed when they used to hold the crystal. So crystals are absolutely amazing, and I used to use them all the time in many different ways. I mean, the big quartz crystal I've got in the picture, that I used to use for healing places. So when I used to go around places and I couldn't quite, because the energy lines of a place is sometimes negative and you can't really see what's in it. And oftentimes spirits will be hiding there, or it's like a connection to the other world or one thing or another. So I used to be able to shine this big crystal with unconditional love in it, and it would highlight what's in there. And then spirit would run because they'd know that I've come to clear the place out. So, I mean, even that crystal is brilliant for going around and... But people think you're a bit weird if you shine the crystal at them. Do you know what I mean? But hey-ho, that's the way it is. That's the way it works. So you can program it. And protection-wise, my dragon egg was always had protection in case I had visitations or people bothering me or one thing or another. Then that energy, I could feel that energy warm up in my pocket, and I know then that protection is needed at that time. Because I used to do a lot of paranormal, and I used to obviously I do a lot of house cleanses, so I was always looking for different places, and also always needed sort of protection, or just even to know, because you go into old buildings, houses, people, everything used to trigger my crystal. But it's quite weird to feel that the crystal would get warm in my pocket. But it was so important for me putting like protection or white light and waterfall around at times, so because it's quite easily, as an empath, which is somebody who can feels a lot, it can actually absorb a lot of negativity. So the clearer you are, the easier it is to connect. But sometimes when you're going into sort of like paranormal events or haunted places and stuff like that, you have to use your senses to speak or to understand what is happening, so you can't always protect, but the crystal in my pocket would always guide me if ever I needed to just be wary of a situation or what I've come into contact. Nothing can harm you. Absolutely nothing can harm you as long as you give it sort of permission to harm you sometimes. But what they can do is try and feed you negative thoughts and ideas, and and that's why sometimes I always like to have protection on me. So crystals wise, I use crystals for all sorts, and I always carry one with me, and I always tend to have a spare one in case somebody needs one or needs to do, a bit of protection, and the different types of crystals all can relate to different things. It's quite fascinating when you get into the crystals and what they can do, and the energy of them and one thing or another. Most of my time it was really for connecting. So in the end, I used to learn that you can even program a rock. And sometimes I used to just walk down the beach or walk in and ask for a rock that the beach would like to give me. And I've had a few heart-shaped rocks in my time, which is, or I've asked for a message, and I've had that as well, which I find fascinating. But I always say, I don't like to just keep taking rocks without being guided to them. And this one was actually off the path, so it wasn't even by the beach, which made it even more spectacular and an amazing experience for me. But crystals, certainly, you can program them, and the quickest way to program them is to connect with them. So use all your senses, become one with the crystal. Use all your see, touch, taste, smell, everything, and merge with it. Imagine your energies merging with it and igniting, like inside of it, the source inside of it to expand around the crystal. And then that crystal is amazing for whenever you're doing any connection work, or you just want to feel connected. It's like it's like the alternative to going sitting in nature, and then after 20 minutes of sitting in nature, all of a sudden you feel that you've released the emotions and everything, and that. And I mean, for cleaning my crystal, I just basically pour it under the water. Once a month, I just let it run under the water. I mean, I don't bury it in the ground and under the moon. And I think sometimes people get a little bit excited about all these rituals and one thing or another. Me personally, it's come from the earth. It's used to water running over it, so that will cleanse it if I need to. But you can also program it to clean itself. Never thought about that, did you? Well, yes, I did. So yeah, it's amazing, really, what you can do with a crystal, and that's how I do it.